Merry Meetlings, it's the Twisted Witch Midnight Moon Song here, and today I am going to talk about rune sigils. A lot of people talk about sigils, but I don't come across as many people that talk about rune sigils in particular. I do know of a few, but personally I haven't seen it as much, and I hear a lot of younger just now into witches, witchcraft type witches, baby witches if you will, ask and talk about it, about how exactly they're supposed to use them, and if combining them works the same way as combining with other sigils. And I always say, yes, it does, and I have a nice long explanation. So I decided, why not do a video on that subject? Today, we will not be focusing on the whole entirety of runes. We'll be focusing on 5 of the Elder Futhark runes in particular, because I feel these particular ones are the easiest to grow accustomed to, and especially for those who are just getting into sigil work or into rune work. And these are the ones I feel people use the most. So I'll start off by drawing them here. This first rune is Eilhaz. It's the rune for protection. It's one you'll see a lot in a lot of other people's work. It is, in my opinion, from what I've seen, one of the number 1 runes that is used in rune work. And this rune is particularly special to me. It is a rune of knowledge and teaching and learning, as well as dispelling things like fear and enlightening things like inspiration. Now keep in mind, all these runes do have a basic definition, and they all have a small list of other things that they do mean and they do work with. So keep that in mind when you work with them. Now this particular one is one that I have such trouble pronouncing, so please be nice to me about it. As you can tell, I have a slur in my voice, so I do have trouble speaking clearly, and I also do have a stutter. So Sowilo, I believe it's how it's pronounced. It's harder for me to say. It's the rune of the sun, so I usually just call it the sun rune, just make my life easier. It is a rune for energy and strength. This rune seems rather simple. It's Gebel, and it's a rune of the gift. And by gift, I mean both the gift of giving and receiving, and the feeling that comes with that. It's also a rune of relationships, which I really, really like. And it's not just a relationship with a person. It could be any relationship. The relationship with yourself, the relationship with your craft. Any relationship can go into this rune. And this final one we'll be working with is called Wunyo. It is a rune of success. And like I said, most of these have more than one thing. But we will be working with these particular meanings today. Although I will say, if you find different meanings of these runes, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, they have multiple runes, multiple meanings. There's several runes that are runes for protection that are not just in the Elder Futhark lineup like I'm using. So if you find other runes with, or even these runes with alternate meanings, that's why. Now, when you create sigils, it's essentially taking the symbols and combining them together. One of the big ones that I use that you might have seen in my travel altar video is a Loki's protection rune. And this is actually the rune for Loki. And since Loki is my patron, I like to use it a lot. Now, when I make this rune, one, you're going to put in the intention with each stroke of your pen. So this rune, like I said, is going to be for Loki's protection specifically. And like I said, this rune can also be for teaching and knowledge and stuff, but I'm using it for this particular protection. So first, we draw the protection rune. You could draw Loki's rune first, but I prefer to draw the protection rune because that is the action. That is the main source. Drawing the main source first, to me, puts down the foundation. It's like the foundation of a house. When you build a house, you have to put down the foundation first and build from it. You can't just build the roof and have it hanging off nowhere. Now, to put in Loki, we simply do that. And there's a Loki's rune protection. You can also just do this and come off of it like so. Either way, these runes are both Loki's protection runes. And then I would bless the symbol, take it into my circle, and what have you. And of course, that I'm not going to get into because each person has a different way to bless and to put in the intentions into their sigils and their work. I recommend simple incense. I recommend sitting there and physically saying. That's what I do, just physically putting in as I'm writing them. But you do you. Another rune that I find most people actually use a lot, that I've actually seen go around the internet a lot, is Rune and Gebo. Now, as you can see, I did draw Rune first. If I was doing it for myself, actually putting it down to use for myself, I would have drawn Gebo first, because Gebo is the rune for the relationship. That would be the foundation, and then the success, which Rune would be in that relationship. But I just kind of drew it out. I probably should have done it the other way to show you, but I digress. I would charge this with the relationship with myself. Success in that relationship, because I know a lot of people get depressed and a lot of people find it hard to work with themselves some days. Some days you wake up, you look in the mirror, and you love what you see. Other days you don't. And I think this rune really, really helps with that. Now, but these are just 2 rune sigils. We can go further and make a whole line of sigils. For example, we'll do the base for protection. Bring it down probably further. There's our base, our foundation. Now, what do we want in this protection? We want energy and strength in this protection. So we will come from this and make our sun rune. This rune is rune for energy, to charge it, and strength to keep it going. Now, you can also add in Rune for success. And there we have it. There's our longer rune sigil. Now, they don't always have to be in a line either. This is something that I find very interesting and unique. You could use shapes and color theory in this. You don't have to use a black pen. You don't have to use a line. You can use a circle, which is the one we're going to use today. But you could use a triangle, a square, and the meanings behind those. I like to use a circle because a circle is never ending, and it symbolizes the never-ending turn of time. Now, let's say this circle is us. Now, the foundation of it, what we're wanting to be focusing on inside, let's say it's a relationship with ourself. So we would draw Gebo in there, in the self, because that's where our main focus is. We're taking in all these things from the outside into ourselves. Now, what energy, and these can be on top or bottom, on the side, any way you want to draw them, any way you feel led to put them on there is just fine. Now, personally, the reason that I put the sun down here, because it's an S and south is downwards on a compass. So, yes, haha, let's move on from that. It's a very stupid, lame joke. But anyways, I put here success in loving myself. Protecting myself. Learning about myself and teaching others about myself so they can know me, becoming open and inspired. And Munyo, success. The success in all things of me loving myself and my spiritual connections with myself. As you notice, I did set this one sideways. You don't have to do that. You can send it the normal way. Pardon me. But it's all up to you. It is all on you. You can even build off of these and make bigger things such as this sigil, but coming off these if you really want to. And like I said, you can use a triangle, you can use a square, any type of shape you want. I prefer the circle though when I do it. What I also like to do as a little further intentions, I like to cut a piece of paper, generally just like a little slip of paper, and I will soak it in moon water or spray it with my purification water and then let it dry completely. I might run it through some lavender incense or anything that purifies it. And then I'll draw the sigil on the paper and then I'll hang it on the wall. It becomes a little, just a little bookmark, even if you really want it to be. You can empower with knowledge and have a bookmark in all the books you read to help empower your intake of knowledge. You can use it as a sutra and hang it in your house, in your home, on the outside of your home if you want to bring in good luck and protection and such in there. And that you can use this method not just for these, you can use it for anything, any sigil you make, any symbol you create, you can use this method for. You can put on a piece of paper. Well, that is all, witchlings. I hope I have helped you and hope I've informed you of this simple, surprisingly simple way to make sigils. The only other thing I would say to follow up on this is do your research. This is the Elder Futhark set, and this is only 5 of them. There are many more, and there are many more sigils that are made from long ago, from Vikings and soothsayers long ago that already exist. So do your research on what's what. Like I said, you don't have to go by one single meaning. Like for me, this can also be for Loki because Loki's touched me in some specific way. I knew someone who likes to use a protection because it looked like a bird foot, and her familiar was her parakeet. And that meant that much to her in a totally different way than just protection. So if you see an image in these that go into your heart in a different way, that's perfectly fine, and you can use that. Just put in the intention with the stroke of your pen. All right. I wish you all a great evening or morning. I offer you to subscribe, comment, like, the usual. And why don't you tell me your experience with using runes and your favorite rune to use in your craft. Blessed be, witchlings, and have a pleasant evening.